Welcome to the second edition of the Dodgers Nation Roundtable. This is a new feature we're going to have on DN. This is a weekly segment we're going to have for you guys. The whole team is here. The best four hitters you're going to see in a lineup. To my right, Clint Pasillas, co-host of the Blue Heaven podcast. To my left, Dodgers Dugout, Mr. Doug McCain. To my far left, Mr. Brooks Smith, the other host of the Blue Heaven podcast. It's early, gentlemen, very early on in the season, but never too early to have a roundtable podcast. So we're going to dive into some stuff here, just kind of the main storylines, and we have to start with Dave Roberts deciding to pull Clayton Kershaw after 7 perfect innings, 80 pitches in Minnesota today. Agree or disagree with the decision? Doug McCain, you're batting leadoff.
I think selfishly, I would say I disagree, but I fully understand the decision. I think it was 100% the right move. He's a franchise icon. He missed 3 months last year due to that elbow injury. He left the mound with an elbow injury to end his season in 2021. And also, he didn't pick up a ball until January. So was he built up enough? The answer is no. Was he ready to go past 7 innings? I would say the answer is also no. I think the most important thing today is the fact that he was dominant out there. He was dominant with that slider. You saw 11 punch outs via that slider, 13 punch outs like you mentioned, 17 swings and misses. And I think what we learned today is if he has the feel for that slide piece, he's still going to be effective. And I think that's the most important thing. Was it the right decision by Dave Roberts? I would say it was. It was the right decision for Clayton Kershaw and the right decision for this organization because it's about October. It's not about April. And I think that's what it's all about. But on the same note, there's only been 23 perfect games. We haven't seen one since Felix Hernandez tossed one in 2012. So maybe you go out there, you take it one batter at a time. If you get some quick outs, you never know. But look, at the end of the day, it was the right decision by Dave Roberts.
Brooke, what do you think?
Makes me the Freddie Freeman of this lineup. I'm feeling pretty good about that. Doug, you're a great fence sitter. I love that so much about you. Look, I'm an against the grain kind of guy. I've done that my entire life, and that's why I am where I am today, everybody. I know these guys are intelligent people. I know that they know the right answers to this, but I'm going to go against the grain a little bit just to offer a different viewpoint, just to offer a different fan take, whatever it might be, because we are inclusive of all takes of our Dodgers fans family. So with that being said, deep down in my heart, I do agree it was the right decision. However, 80 pitches through 7 innings, a couple innings where he got under 10 pitches out of it. What is the harm in sending him out there for the 8th inning and seeing if he can get through it very quickly? What is the harm in sending him out there and saying, hey, maybe he can get through this inning in 5 pitches. Maybe they're coming up there looking to attack his first pitch. Maybe they're trying to get on top of him, get at him quick, try to get to his fastball, which is very flat and not very good. Maybe 3 pop-ups, maybe 3 groundouts real quick, maybe 1, 2, 3. Then at that point, if you're through 8, the decision's made for you already. You're going out there for the 9th. It doesn't matter. It's a different ball game. I don't see the harm in saying, let's throw you out there for the 8th. If you don't get through the first batter quickly, then we'll have a conversation.
The harm is the last time we saw Clayton Edward Kershaw on a major league mound, he was he walked off with a trainer. After the game, he was still holding the ball. He was still holding the ball. Man's left-handed. He didn't take off his uniform. He came out, the second inning of that game. He didn't take off his uniform until, he did his post-game press conference still in his uniform. We didn't know if we were going to see this man pitching again. He's only, like whoever said it, Doug said it, he only started throwing in January. You don't open the season with that. Him pitching a perfect game on April 13th or whatever it is does not matter when you care about October. Plus, this is a man that has not pitched, 23 perfect games in the history of the game. He has had fewer healthy seasons in his career. So I don't know. I'm just saying there, let the guy pitch a full healthy season before you go and try to force 6 more outs. Sure, everything could have been fine. Sure, the stance of worrying about his career is a bit much. But I don't care about one game. Like you had said, it's we versus me, and I'm more than happy with the decision. A dub is a dub, and Kershaw gets to stay healthy.
I mean, just a great opportunity to kind of the one thing he's missing on his resume, right? You have an MVP, Triple Crown winner, no-hitter, World Series champion, probably missing 4 other awards he's already won. But I understand the decision. I get why they did it. It makes sense. I think all your guys' points are valid as far as the injuries, and it's about October. and not April. I also think it was just a perfect opportunity for everyone who loves to crush Dave Roberts about what flavor of juice he likes to drink in the morning, why that makes him a bad person. This is an absolute golden opportunity for those people, especially when you think about the Ross Stripling perfect game that we had talked about. Or was that a no-hitter? Excuse me. Do you remember? You just looked it up.
I don't
Sorry.
remember Ross.
I'm just going to put you on the spot.
Ross doing good stuff and getting taken out early.
Yeah, Ross, Rich Hill.
MLB debut.
Yeah, this
Rich
is
Hill coming off of a long injury.
right. So thank you. So this is not the first time on the train for Dave Roberts from people who are just willing to cut him down.
2 times in MLB history since 1901 that a pitcher has gone 7+ perfect innings and been removed from the game. The first time, Rich Hill, 2016 against the Miami Marlins. Dave Roberts was the manager.
His
second
first
time
start with the Dodgers.
today.
But I think,
Coming off a blister issue.
But I think you make a lot of really good points when you talk about his resume. And we
Get
saw
off the fence.
what happened in 2014. In 2014, the Hanley Ramirez play. Gavin Lux makes the anti-Hanley play there in the 7th inning. You could feel the magic kind of building there in Minnesota. I think another person you could blame is Major League Baseball. Because of Major League Baseball waiting so long to begin negotiations to end the lockout, we had a shorter spring training, so which that shortens the ramp-up time, and he was less built up. So maybe Clayton Kershaw comes in there and he's in a better spot to throw a perfect game. But I think it's a really good question because, look, if you're Clayton Kershaw, like you said, has the no-hitter and he has a perfect game potentially today, talk about the comparisons with Sandy Koufax, already won his World Series. Let's say the Dodgers don't win the World Series this year, which I hope that doesn't happen. I hope they do win the World Series. But let's say they don't, and this is Clayton Kershaw's last year. I think maybe you look back and you say, hey, I'll take that perfect game even if I'm putting my health at risk because of just how rare it is. Like Jeff Passan said, 220,000 games have been played, 23 perfect games. And like I was telling you, it was the perfect shame if he didn't give an opportunity to go out there. But like I said, the health, the most important thing was done today. It was trying to preserve his health.
Kershaw is already a Hall of Famer. He does not need a perfect game to get in the Hall of Fame. He does not need a perfect game to solidify his legacy in L.A. He's done it all. MVP, Cy Young's a World Series champion. What else does he need to do?
Perfect game.
Perfect game is so special.
But just to offer once again a different viewpoint of this, it had Hanley Ramirez made that play, which Gavin Lux at that point in his life, I think he was like 4 years old or whatever. I'm pretty sure he could have made that play. If he had made that play, would this have been as big of a deal? Because I don't think it would have been. People have said like, oh, no one's had 2, and I'm like, who cares, dude? Who cares at this point? So I am gonna wrap this up by saying I blame everything on Hanley Ramirez. Everything that's ever bad happened to me in my life is due to Hanley.
Or Rob Manfred, to Doug's point.
Or Rob Manfred.
So shout out to Miguel Rojas for that play he made.
For sure.
I see you.
But 314 no-hitters, 23 perfect games.
Moving on.
I put a bow on it, guys. Move on.
Moving on.
We'll stick with pitching. We'll move along. We'll stick with the starter. He wasn't perfect, but Andrew Heaney, very good last night in a very odd rain postponed game in Minnesota. 4.18, 4 1/3, excuse me. We don't do decimals here. We believe in fractions because we're good Americans. 3 hits, 0 earned runs, and 5 strikeouts. Gentlemen, does Andrew Heaney's performance last night change any of your outlooks for what he can do on the season? Mr. Freddie Freeman, you can start.
I am a noted Heen dog hater, and I am more than willing to eat my words this year. More than willing. Let me just throw it out there first before I say all of this. I hope that he proves me wrong. I hope that he becomes like their number somewhere in their top 3 pitchers so far through the start of the season. First time through the rotation, he is in the top 3. He outperformed Walker Buehler. He far outperformed Julio. Tony's still TBD. I don't know what they're doing with him so far. So in terms of first time through, yeah, probably the second best pitcher of the rotation right now. Again, first time through. I am not going to be suckered into a one-game performance and sell my soul to the devil immediately. I am still going to say the Twins did not look good. The Twins' bats looked terrible for both of those little games. Weather worked against them maybe a little bit. I don't know what their deal is. I think you need a dome on that stadium. Obviously, I do like the fact that he's mixing in that slider more. The biggest thing when he came over, and Doug brought this up on his first video when they brought him over, he is terrible with his pitch mix and pitch selection, and he has leaned on that fastball, which is not a good fastball, far too often in his career. However, swing and miss stuff has been elite. Yep. So, what do the Dodgers do best with pitchers who can't seem to find it but have had stuff in the past? They mix up their pitch selection, and it usually works. 9 times out of 10, it's worked so far in their processes with pitchers bringing them in. So, could be good. I'm not ready to call him the savior of the team yet.
They're already trying to mix in that Blake Trinan slider, as they call it. It looked good in game one, but you gotta, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice. I want to be fooled a couple times before I believe this guy is the real deal.
Well, I think my goal here is to try to turn you guys into Heaney heads. I think that's going to be my goal this year. And like you said, it is just one game. Based on what we saw today from that Minnesota offense, it is a little less impressive today. But like you said, you mentioned that pitch mix. Last season, through that heater at a 59.4% clip. Last night, it was at 44.8% clip. Clint, you mentioned that slider with that sweeper slider that he introduced.
One game with it in his life.
But if he's commanding that fastball, he's elevating it, changing those eye levels. He's always been able to kind of, like you said, generate that swing and miss, generate that arm side run with that, with his fastball, with his changeup. I think
generates hard contact and high fly.
That's the thing. I mean, the big key for him is, that's going to be the big key for him is, can he keep the ball in the yard? Last year, home runs per 9, top 5 in a bad way at 2.01 per game. And I think, though, the promising thing is how receptive he is to this Dodgers coaching. I mean, is he Connor McGinnis or is he Connor MacGyver? Because he's just reinventing guys every single year. And I think by showing them, look, when I was at spring training, we saw Connor McGinnis and those guys in the clubhouse to showing him different grips. So he's very receptive. And I think another big thing too was signing him before the lockout began, so he can kind of get the information ahead of time to see what he can kind of learn during the lockout. But yeah, like I said, like you said, it is one start, a 5.83 ERA last year. He was pretty terrible, but the Dodgers, if anyone can get the most out of a pitcher, it's this organization.
29 home runs last year.
29 bombs.
In less than, in fewer than 130 innings, 130.1 innings.
I could give up 29 home runs.
Big point, guy.
Heaney truthers stand up.
How many hit by pitch?
Heaney truthers stand up.
I have not been a Heaney truther, or I have been a Heaney truther. Like, I'm not.
Heaney head.
I got roasted last week for saying the Giants have a better rotation because their number 5 is just far better than Heaney. Look, he had for the first time ever, and Fabian Ardaya, the Athletic, pointed the stat out, so I got to cite that there. But first time ever that he threw more breaking balls than fastballs in the start. Clearly, it worked. Also, his career ground ball rate only 37.7. Last night it was 50. So keeping the ball in the yard, they're keeping the ball down, trying to create those ground balls, which he has not been able to do his entire career. Because you also look at his fly ball to home run rate was awful. That was also 5 worst in the league.
That ball go up and out.
Yeah, and you think this, you have that pitch they call the sweeper we've all talked about. I think the impressive thing is how well he did with it. And then Dave Roberts admitted, he's like, yeah, we've never really had him throw it to live hitters. I think Heaney said that himself, like, I've never thrown this pitch to live hitters, and it worked out. But look, it was a very weird game. It's one start. We'll see. But at the end of the day, they didn't get Heaney to pitch like that. They got him to eat up innings and not create a complete catastrophe in every start. So as long as he's doing that, I think we're all right.
Just need innings. Just need innings.
So that was a lot of statistics there. We will stay on the stat train for now. Gentlemen, your most surprising stat of the Dodgers season so far?
Oh, man. I have nothing right now. I guess Heaney start. Kershaw coming out. I mean, the pitching staff shutting down the Minnesota Twins, a team that slugged.
Top offense.
Yeah, they have a top offense. They slugged like a mofo. I think they're just coming out very cold. I hear it's cold in Minnesota, by the way. That's it. That's my thing.
You didn't hear
the
about
number
that.
4 or number 5 guys. There's my odd stat.
Yeah, that's for sure an odd stat.
Kershaw being a number 5 guy.
I didn't do a deep dive into it yet, but the 7, 8, 9 hitters are absolutely carrying somehow. I don't know what's happening. I could go a couple different directions with this, because I could say, hey, Austin Barnes is the team leader in home runs right now, which is odd. However, I'm not going to go that direction. My most surprising stat of the Dodger season so far is my boy, Hanser Alberto. He has 1 at bat. One.
Wait, he got an at-bat so far?
One at-bat. One single at-bat so far. That was the guy that I expected to fully be the starting second baseman on opening day against a left-handed pitcher. That did not happen. He got in 1 at-bat late into a game, didn't do anything, and since then has not been seen, let alone in a batter's box. I haven't even seen him in the dugout. I haven't even seen them cut to him. Nothing. Second of all, don't even really know what he looks like. He's kind of a mystery man at this point. I feel like everybody sees him. They're like, that guy's on the team? I don't remember who that guy is, because he's had 1 at-bat.
Are we starting the hashtag Free Hanser?
Free Hanser, the answer.
That doesn't go well. That doesn't go well for who's featured in that hashtag. He could be a Padre. He could be a Padre
He could
before
be
you
a
know
Padre.
it.
Oh, that's true. We freed Matt Beatty.
We did free Matt Beatty.
Hey, the mission was accomplished. Just did not.
What is happening with my
let's-
love affair with bench players? What's going on here?
And fringe players in general.
And
I
Malik
love
Monk.
fringe players, man. I love fringe
Yeah,
players.
you do.
Malik Monk is a star. Don't you put him on the
I think what it is if you see a guy rocking that jersey, you're like, that guy knows what's up. Like, he's a hardcore, you
my
know?
Malik Monk jersey. I have two of them.
Brooke is just generally a fringe player.
I also missed a golden opportunity to mention Brooks' boy, Chris Paddock, started for the Twins today. So, howdy, partner.
You're a bad pitcher, Chris.
The sheriff and
Tell your brother I said hi.
Doug, you got a stat?
So I would say for me, today he went 1 for 5 with 3 strikeouts, but heading into today's action, Gavin Lux, a 13.3% strikeout rate. He's a career 23% strikeout rate. So I think the improvement with Gavin Lux at the plate, setting the tone, the catalyst at the bottom of the order there, really generating offense, and you're just seeing a much more calm approach at the plate from Gavin Lux, and he's cutting down the strikeouts. You're seeing him not try to do too much, and I think that really has been a big eye-opener for me early on. I want to see so for me, it's really Gavin Lux's strikeout rate going down this year, early on this season.
Then he struck out twice today.
Yeah, I think 3 times. So,
3 times? Oh.
Yeah, it didn't make me look good. I was really...
He's a bad waker-upper, you know? Isn't he the guy who needs to crack
Well,
like
he
3
grew
Red
up in the
Bulls?
cold, though. He should be used to the
No,
cold.
but he's a bad waker-upper. He needs like 3 Red Bulls just to get
cold.
the day going.
He's a kid.
Do you think he's a replaceable Cap Monster guy? Like the leader?
I used to be that guy.
Leader of Cola. My
Leader
surprising
Monster.
stat: Mookie Betts is tied for second on the team with most strikeouts with 6.
that's right.
Slow starter.
Which I think is pretty
Slow starter.
surprising. He's still, he's had some good swings.
He's feeling for it.
His BABIP I think is 250, so he'll bounce back. He's just
Chris
hitting this
Paddock
bad
got him
luck.
good. Got him going good again. BP Paddock.
All right, we'll wrap things up here with a little rapid fire. Only 2 questions here. We'll just start with Clint. Will Freddie Freeman and Ronald Acuña make up when the Braves are in town next week?
Sure. I think there's going to be a hug. I think we're going to get so much bullshit media coverage out of this. ESPN's going to be there. They're going to try to create something that was never there. Sure, we're gonna get a hug. We're gonna get a kiss. We're gonna get him rubbing on the head. You remember when him and was it Acuña and it was Acuña and Ozzy Albies are like hugging each other, and he was like petting him and whatever. You're gonna get that. That's what you're gonna get. You're not gonna get that, but still.
Doug?
I think, look, he's Mr. Congeniality there at first base. I think there's no question about it. You saw the kind words he had for him when he was talking to MLB Network. They'll make up, of course, man. It's not going to be like a Kobe Shaq type feud or anything like that. I think that it's going to be fine. I think it's kind of good for baseball to have some of these subplots. But, yeah, Freddie Freeman, one of the nicest guys you're ever going to meet in Major League Baseball. And I think Ronald Acuña, he was, got let loose on a little podcast interview there. But I think he probably regrets doing that at this point. But, look, they're going to. I think he definitely regrets that. But they'll be cool. You'll see him dap it up, a little bro hug, something like that. But I definitely think they'll make up.
It's going to be a conscious effort to make that happen. It's going to be very much like the cameras are on us. Let's go meet in the middle of the field, hug it out. And then it's going to be across every freaking sports channel for the next 24 hours about how they are best friends and they've hugged it out. And I hate coverage sometimes, dude.
Dink and Flicka.
We'll have the Instagram post ready on @DodgersNation.
Yeah, it'll be there.
Yeah, they're definitely going to do it. There's too much meat on the bone. Whether we like it or not, it's going to happen. So we'll go to a question I think Clint will like a little bit
Tomahawk
more.
steak. Yes.
Dry aged or wet aged?
Your mom.
All right, concern level on Julio Urias after his first start, scale of 1 to 10.
3. I mean, that's a Coors effect for Julio, and he's just got to get his head right. But nobody likes pitching in Coors Field. We said it on the podcast. Blue Heaven every Monday. Check it out. Get rid of Coors Field. Just go away. Nobody wants you. You're adopted. Go away.
I usually have the Coors effect when I'm camping.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Yeah,
Banquet.
Doesn't usually banquet every time.
every
Camping. Yeah,
camping.
for sure. My concern level, I'd give it like a 2. I don't really care. First start of the season. I mean, really, the first month of the season, you can kind of just take it for what it is. It's not really mean anything. People got to get going. It's shortened spring training. There's a lot of excuses. Lockout.
As long as he leads
heads
the
are falling
teams
off.
and wins again.
God, I love wins. Doug?
Look, I love me the Urias, right? But I'm going to go a little higher than you two and go a 4, just because of the drop in that velocity.
Oh, my God.
I mean,
4.
Doug wants to DFA Urias, guys. You heard it here first. Timestamp that.
Last year, 94. He was averaging 94.1 on his heater in the first game, 91.4. But for him, it's really just going out there and executing pitches, and he just wasn't doing that in his first outing. Like you said, ashore in spring training, he's lost some weight. His body looks a little different, and I think that when it comes to Julio Urias, he's going to be just fine. Is he a true number 2 starter for a World Series contending team? I think that's a fair question. Last year, you saw he was very effective. I mean, the last 11 starts of the season, a 1.95 ERA. So he was really dominant to close things out before kind of just running out of gas there late. But not overly concerned, but definitely going to monitor it closely early on this season as far as his velo and his productivity goes. But at this point, I still think he's going to be just fine.
I'm at a 6.5. I'm going to be overreactionary. I'm going to pull the ESPN. It's right the day after the quarterback has an awful game. 6.5, and it's the velocity. It's all for me. It's the innings. I mean, you look up. We all pull up Baseball Reference, and you go down the innings column. 185 innings. I think that's almost the same, or if not more, than he's thrown in his entire career. Yeah. And I think the Dodgers do an incredible job of babying guys coming off of injury. You're thinking about Walker Buehler there, Julio Urias. They do a good job with that. But this does feel like a regression year with Urias if you look at like his xFIP and some of the other peripheral stats that, his sub-3 ERA maybe wasn't exactly what it was cracked up to be.
It was not accurate, no.
What about his wins?
I haven't looked at quality starts or wins, but man, a lot of wins. I do think he deserved to finish top 10 in the Cy Young. That makes sense to me.
R.A. Dickey won 20 games and stole a Cy Young from Clayton Kershaw.
And he wrote a book about it.
He wrote a damn book about it.
He wrote a book about it? Oh, man.
Yeah.
What do you call it when you're a knuckleballer and you don't have a life?
Knuckle book?
I think it's called Knucklehead.
Is it called Knucklehead?
Anyway, this is not a book club. This is
this fall, the NBC.
Not coming to NBC. Maybe, who knows? They'll greenlight anything these days. But look, this is not a book review. I assure you, I don't think any of us can really read.
Book review. Yeah,
we could review Brooke too. Great guy, friend of the show. But this is your weekly roundtable. We'll be back next week. But make sure to check out. Doug is doing an interview with DJ Severe. Would that be a house DJ for Dodger Stadium? Is that how you say that? He makes the stadium bop.
So DJ Severe is going to be on the channel. So make sure you're subscribing to YouTube, youtube.com/DodgersNationTV. You should be doing that anyway.
Cowards. Really helps out the channel.
He's a DJ, the biggest party in LA, man. He's got 50,000 strong at his parties, man.
That's a good point.
That's a great point.
DJ Severe.
Now we out.